topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blerd Survival Guide until the end. BSG, we back again. Combos, topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blerd Survival Guide until the end.
Oh, we back at it again. Jay, Jeremy, Miriam, Ryan, friends until the end. What's new this week? That is our mission. Spoiler leaks, not our ambition. Call us geeks, come on now listen. Black and nerdy's our position.
Blerd boys, y'all know what to expect. Enter the podcast, we come in correct. Survivalist world, we coming for the throne. Blerd boys, survivalist zone.
BSG, we back again. Combos, topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blerd Survival Guide until the end. BSG, we back again. Combos, topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blerd Survival Guide until the end. Hey, 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 hey. It's the Blerd Survival Guide. It's the Blerd Survival Guide. It's the Blerd Survival Guide.
Woo! Welcome back.
Welcome back to another episode of the Blerd Survival Guide, Season 5, Episode 3.
Episode 3.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. Thank you very much.
All the buttons.
Oh, man, I'm excited for today's episode. I don't know if we've ever talked about so you and me specifically have never kind of talked about this in depth today.
No, this is more of Ryan's territory.
But we're going to get out of our comfort zone today.
We don't try.
I'm excited. I think that, we've got some things to say around the topic of Star Wars and the Star Wars universe, the Lucas cinematic
Lucasfilms
extravaganza.
Yeah, all of
I mean, like
all the above.
Beyond, I feel like the series itself, or like the Star Wars verse, is beyond a universe at this point. It's just kind of like this.
It's a galaxy far, far away.
It's much more than that. It's several universes. It is several universes.
You didn't catch my pun?
I caught your pun.
Okay.
Anyway. Welcome back, everybody.
Hey.
I'm your co-host, Jay.
I'm your co-host, Jeremy. This is another episode of the Blerd Survival Guide, episode Trace.
Before we get into it, Jeremy, how you doing?
I'm doing good. It's been a wang dang doodle of a good time at work. We're just working and things and stuff. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. It's been a full day, been a full week since we last recorded. But to be honest with you, I'm happy I'm here. I'm really just happy to be here. Happy to be talking to you, talking to our survivalists out there. Yeah. I hope everybody out there is doing well. I think y'all are doing great. But anyway, today's topic, we're talking about Ahsoka, which is one of the new television series that came out, streaming series that came out on Disney Plus over the break that we were on, and then
August to October.
We've been talking about it for a little bit. We're also going to talk about John Boyega and his career a little bit. Just kind of
a little table of contents of what today's episode will endure and entail.
Sure. And hopefully they don't have to endure it. I hope they enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
But anyway,
let's get into it.
Yeah, so Ahsoka is kind of one of the first. It's not the first, but it's like one of the first Disney Plus original Star Wars contents. Along with what? What am I missing? I think I'm missing
Mandalorian, Rebels.
Okay, that was the animation, right? That was the animation that came out as a
those animation
follow up to Clone Wars,
right? Bad Batch.
Okay.
The anime series that was like
Visions.
Yeah,
Visions.
Star Wars Visions. Yeah. I mean, it's just a slew of things that like
what was the Skywalker one? I'm thinking of Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. Yeah.
Well, Obi-Wan was it was another series.
That was like
it was a series, right?
Yeah, it was a series, but it was a weird prequel sequel. Like it was both.
Yeah, it was. It was. It was a prequel and a sequel, definitely.
Because it was in between what happened after episode 3 and before episode 4, like that time in between.
Right.
So it was like a prequel to episode 4, but a sequel to episode 3.
And enough time has passed where he has to interact with
Darth
Vader
and Darth Vader.
All of them.
A fresh Darth Vader since he's killed. Anakin.
The other version of himself.
Yeah.
So. But Ahsoka, at the end of the day, is the most recent
Yes.
Star Wars Lucasfilm's property to be released on Disney Plus.
Right.
It falls in between like Rebels and at the end of Rebels and I think the start of
So I mean it takes place in between like Clone Wars and Rebels, and it's after the events of like Mandalorian season 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's basically where it falls in line in the grand scheme of things. Correct us if we are wrong. Let us know in the comments below.
Please.
This is the video version this week, so yeah, you can actually see our pretty faces. Made a little ding there.
Anyway.
But yeah, yeah, it takes place, like we said, it takes place in that time frame. It is a live action series. Rosario Dawson returns as Ahsoka Tano. She did a guest role on Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
That's where people saw her for the first time. And that was after she had already been fan casted. People wanted her as Ahsoka for so long because they just resembled so much. Like, there wasn't a more like resemblance of a cartoon to live action portrayal than Rosario Dawson to Ahsoka Tano. And she played that part very well, in my opinion.
I mean, I enjoyed the character. You know, I don't have a lot of historical knowledge. I think I have probably more than the average person, but less than the most avid fan, right? Like, I know of Ahsoka. I know that she is attached to Anakin Skywalker.
Right.
Also Darth Vader.
Right. Spoilers.
I hope. And I know that, you know, at the end of Anakin being a Jedi, she is basically kind of left in the lurch to fend for herself, find her own master, and figure it the fuck out after the Clone Wars, basically.
Right, but I mean, she basically is that, and like she basically becomes like a general and like
and the rebels, like
Rebels,
among the rebels, right? Because she's pretty involved with the fall of the Empire, basically.
Yeah.
And so what Ahsoka is kind of following is her attempt to put together the remains of the Jedi, as well as to continue fighting against the Empire over the...
it's like the little fights in between all of the big fighting.
It's not the giant
we're not fighting. We're not following the Skywalker family and their issues, because that's essentially more or less, and I hate I don't want to mess with the Star Wars fandom because they toxic as hell already, but like...
Sure.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it but it's essentially the Star Wars is a Skywalker soap opera, of sorts.
Sure, yeah,
and so we're not following them. We're actually following the series because it's called Star Wars. We're following the little intricacies of war within other sections of the Star Wars galaxy. Like you have, it's not just daddy issues meets sons, meets daughters, meet granddaughters.
No, there's a war.
There's
a war. It requires
there's a reason that
battles.
a reason that we're fighting the Empire. Why there's a rebel side and an Empire side. Why people have swapped sides? Because I mean, you go back to looking at the prequels and the Clone Wars and this, that, and the other. The Empire was good, and then you go to episodes 4, 5, and 6, the main Star Wars stuff before it gets to 7, 8, 9, and you got the switch up in the Clone Wars from the good Order 66 was when Empire went from good to evil,
right,
more or less,
right.
And so that's where this is all taking place, and where we figure out who the rebels are, who are going to be who's going to be a part of the rebellion, and this, that, and other, and trying to destroy the Empire so that we can have a better place in this galaxy.
Which for me, I don't know if overall, if you are not a Star Wars fan, if this show is for you, but I think that there are some pretty cool elements that if you have played any of the Star Wars games, if you have been involved with any of like the animation, or a little bit about Anakin as it connects to Darth Vader, you could watch the show
definitely,
and enjoy it to some degree. I think you do enjoy it more if you know more detail,
right? I mean, and a lot of people have told me before watching it that I should have watched like Rebels and the Clone Wars series.
I did neither one, and I still enjoyed the show because I get what it's supposed to be detailing in terms of like what is a war and why this is a component of it, right? Like she's got her own story, right? She's got things going on after she comes out of hiding,
right? And I mean, it's essentially her forming or reforming the ragtag group of people that helped her originally, I think about 20 years ago. Yeah, within the universe, she's trying to reform that group so they can go. It was basically fight
Thrawn and get her Padawan, the Padawan that she started to develop, who disappeared 20 some years ago.
Yeah, Sabine Wren.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's
it forms into a even bigger story that hopefully we get Ahsoka season 2, something along those lines, just so we can see how the story will pan out. I wonder if there's an actual end to. Well, I mean, yes, there is an end to the Star War.
Yeah, you've seen that.
Yeah, no, that's episode 6.
That is the movie.
Episode 9. Okay, I think about it.
I don't know.
No, not even episode 9.
I mean, technically, the end of the Empire is supposed to be Rise of Skywalker, is it not? Because it happens after Luke destroys everything, but the Empire hasn't fallen.
Right.
And so when Rey comes into the picture and John Boyega comes into the picture, that's when
war is never really over.
Well, Rise of Skywalker is supposed to be the end of it all, as far as I can tell.
War is never really over.
But I don't know.
I don't know.
Anyway, speaking of John Boyega.
Yeah, let's switch it on up, because there's only so much we can't talk about with Ahsoka, especially just being fresh-faced Star Wars fans.
Truly.
But no, we could definitely, just a nice little transition into John Boyega. He's having a good time. He's having a good...
I mean, ever since he burst onto the scene in the last...
been about 10 years now.
Oh, no. I mean, I'd say he burst onto the scene really when The Force Awakens... when Rogue One came out.
No,
right?
it was Force Awakens.
Force Awakens?
Yeah, Rogue One was the prequel. The in-between, episode 4 and 5, something like that.
Yeah, and since Force Awakens came out, and I feel like that happened 2017. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe it's a little bit later.
Fact checking. Give me a 1 second. He's 31.
Force Awakens.
2015.
2015.
Yeah.
Ever since Force Awakens came out, I mean, he's been very actively engaged in some cinema. Man, the man is booked and blessed, hired, and going places.
True. But even with it, with his upscale and even with his rise, I would say to acting greatness, there has been some downfalls, unfortunately, within the Star Wars universe as well. And it's not even on the story wise; it's more so the back end, the behind the scenes.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like
he was promised that he would be basically front and center of attention before it turned into Rey's story. He definitely got backstory, black, he became the token black guy instead of there's a black man who's the main character of Star Wars.
Man, when people talk about who's going to replace Jonathan Majors, they keep pulling up John Boyega's name, but John Boyega already said he ain't finna come back and work. He ain't finna come back and work for Disney Corporation anytime soon. But in the meantime, the man has been putting out some solid films in the last 2 years. Did you see Breaking?
I didn't see Breaking,
about man.
But I have seen The Woman King and They Clone Tyrone.
Bro, all three of these movies, the man deservedly earned some kind of clout.
No, you're going from...
It's some range, fam.
It really is. You go from the... he's from the UK, so you go from...
And that's what's crazy,
speaking American English in Star Wars The Force Awakens, stripping that, going over to The Woman King, where he has to put on an African accent because he's the king of the tribe, and then switching back to an American. He's Compton accent.
Oh, and
a ghetto, in a ghetto black accent.
And then his Midwestern accent for Breaking, where he plays the dude plays a crazy character for Breaking. The man is supposed to be he's robbing a bank by holding it hostage, pretending like he has a gun.
Why I think from far away, this man look like Denzel Washington. Oh my goodness. If you look at this picture from far away, don't even try to squint. That looks like real. A bald Denzel Washington.
That's real.
Okay.
I mean, the man transformed himself for the character.
He just say, okay, all right, okay. What we gonna do right here is we're gonna solve this right now.
It was a very tense movie.
Yeah, no, it looked intense. He looked like Denzel, straight up.
I'm telling you, he transforms himself for the movie. It's insane. It's insane, intense, and insane.
It's insane, baby.
It's insane. Indeedly so.
Indeedly. But no, needless to say, Survivalist, John Boyega needs to be put in more things and post haste, because dude is an amazing actor. He deserves all his flowers. Mr. Boyega, if you want to come on the show, let us know. We will contact your people. My people will call your people.
I mean, I think he's a survivalist already, to be honest with you. I mean, he listens to the podcast, don't you know?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
It happens. But anyway, no.
What would you have liked to see in terms of him in Star Wars? Not what we got, but what would have, should have, could have been.
Well, the will they, won't they with Rey was annoying. I wish we could have avoided that kind of.
They did more or less with when they introduced the Asian character and then they introduced another black character.
Yeah, which was still like that was kind of frustrating in itself.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, wish we would have got more time with him with a lightsaber. I mean, I'm gonna be real about that. Like the potential for.
Wish we had more time with John Boyega. Period. Because after episode 8, no, 4, 6. After episode 7, after Force Awakens, he literally gets sliced by Kylo Ren. And he spends 3/4 of episode 7 or episode 8
laid up.
Yeah, we don't even see him until like the last act of episode 7. Or episode 8. My bad.
They kind of make. I feel like they tried to make up for it in episode 9. In episode 9, like having him be a leader in the squadron and everything, and amongst the generals. But at the same time, like, it's lackluster. I mean, there could have been more backstory. I don't know. Like there's something there that just didn't happen.
We also needed more backstory
because you get it pieced together a little bit, like throughout the first one, and then a little bit across the other two. But still.
Yeah, but there still wasn't really any backstory in terms of him because he was a stormtrooper who broke free from the brainwashing of whatever they did to become stormtroopers. But also, stormtroopers were clones, so...
Yeah, like how did he get recruited as a... Because they're not every stormtrooper is a clone. I think that I don't know what the history there is in terms of Star Wars lore, but I do know that not every stormtrooper was a clone at the point where the Clone Wars had ended and they were still
clones.
There were not even that. There were still soldiers meant for the Empire, right? And so the stormtroopers are the troopers for the Empire, and so they therefore have to fill those with the different colonies, if you will.
Hold on.
Or are you getting something different? This is me completely off the...
You going. You were pontificating on the subject there. Well, quick Google search says that anyone can join the stormtroopers, but clone troopers are exclusively clones of Jango Fett. The stormtroopers are... It's just basically like an army.
Yeah.
There's no army. So yeah, no, you're right.
So you can essentially be a part of the Force.
It's like, I mean, it's instead of like in America where you have the option of joining the army at like 18 or whatever.
Sure.
It's more so with them and their stormtroopers in Star Wars Galaxy. It seems like it's more of a you were born into it. Because remember in the first episode he only knew himself as like FN 2118.
Oh no, he had no real name.
Yeah. So he was born, bred, and built into being a stormtrooper, and then he just broke from the brainwashing because he was like, "This is death and scary, and I don't like it."
Not about it.
And then what's his name? Called him Finn. So I'm gonna call you Finn. I'm like, I bet now I have a name. Yay, we're best friends.
Who played that guy? What was his name?
Moon Knight. What's his name?
Oh yeah.
I want to say Diego Luna, but that's not him. Moon Knight is played by it's not Pedro Pascal.
No, it's it's so bad.
Oscar Isaac.
His character I loved. Honest to God, like
I could have used more of him.
Yeah, could have used more of him too.
There was just so much story that was set up in episode 7 that was just dropped in episodes 8 and 9 because unfortunately it didn't have the same director for all 3 movies like it was George Lucas in the first 6 movies.
And that's always going to lend itself toward a bit of a disjointed storyline.
Right, because with George Lucas, you at least had a cohesive storyline for 18 years because, I mean, it was back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, it took 3 years to make a movie. So it literally every 3, like it was at least the same director, writing team whatsoever for episodes 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, and 3. Mm-hmm. But then after that, it was just like, all right, we're going to give it to that's the guy who directed Star Trek.
Abrams.
Yes, it was J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to do all 3, 7, 8, and 9.
Right.
But something happened. I think episode 8. I forgot what happened at episode 8, but it turned over to Ryan Johnson, who directed the Glass. What's the Glass Onion? The mystery movie with the Southern detective.
Oh, he directed both of those.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That doesn't work.
Yeah, but producers and Disney is weird and money, but I digress. It's just a whole weird thing. It could have been better. So many things could have been better within that movie. I mean, what are you gonna do?
It's what happens when you go for a cash grab.
That's Disney for you.
Anyway, we can go on and on.
Hey, we can go on and on, but what we're gonna do now is take a quick little break, and we'll be right back with the weekly Blerd.
Nah, I don't like that. That's better.
It's time for the weekly Blerd.
Rude.
I didn't do nothing.
The camera is rolling.
Wasn't me.
Welcome back.
It wasn't me.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
It's time for the weekly Blerd. We talk about stuff
and
all the things.
Hashtag
rude.
Whose turn is it to go first?
Yours?
Oh, is he?
I went first last week.
Are you positive?
Last episode,
Okay.
I talked about Mickey Mouse.
All right. It's my turn.
It is.
So last week y'all heard me mention that I was tired and Monday was Mondaying and I ended up in a documentary hole. And so I ended up watching a bunch of documentaries on this day, just throughout the day as I worked and as I kind of pretended to work as well. Don't tell my boss. But documentaries have become that kind of thing that, like, when I am struggling to feel productive, I will put on in the background because I feel like I'm gaining some knowledge. You know, I feel like I'm kind of repairing this will to learn, will to have, be motivated by filling my brain with some knowledge so that I can then come talk about it with you guys. So if you like documentaries, I hope you check some of these out. And so I'm going to go through a few of them. Notably, the one that has come out, it's been out for a while. If you hadn't checked it out, it's probably one of the more popular ones. It's Shiny Happy People on Amazon Prime. It is the story of the Duggars, which, if you don't remember them, they were the TLC family from 19 Kids and Counting.
It started with 17.
Yeah, obviously it grew over time, and there's a reason for that, man. It's some really scary-ish. It's I think it's like a 4 or 5 episode series on Amazon Prime, and it really highlights the infiltration that IDLP, which is the Institute for Basic Principles or something like that. IBLP, Institute for Basic Living Principles. It's a church group headed by this guy named Bill Gothard, and his influence that he's had over society and America is terrifying. Just to be frank, I mean, the man got so many TV show families popular because of the values that they espouse, or the values that they promote, not the values that they actually follow. Like, they just try to make it look like, this typical patriarchal family, man of the household, woman is serving the man kind of thing. It's kind of gross, but also people live that way, and so you can't tell people how to live. But it's all under the guise of control. It's all under the guise of, basically subjugating women to be slaves and stuff like this. And it got so popular in America that, you've got people now running for Congress that, believe in these values and went through all of the trainings and did all of this stuff. Check it out. Just check it out, because it's a worth noting, because when you think about how we always get, worried about whether or not, these old values are dying off, that, continue to negatively impact our society. They're not. And it's because you have these people that have these values having 19 kids and teaching them these values. So it's something to watch because I think that it really clues you into what's going on to our society. Further, I watched me and Miriam and I started watching The Curious Case of Natalia Barnett, which, if you know the movie The Orphan, it's kind of that movie is loosely based off of her life. It's not at all, correct in terms of what happens, and the seduction of a child and of the woman who pretends to be a child and all that. That's obviously that's the stuff of nightmares.
Yeah.
But the documentary is 2 seasons, giving both sides of the story. And in the second season, we're not there yet, and it's not a spoiler because if you've seen the trailers for it, Natalia, the girl who is about it, is the main speaker in the second season. And so we're just watching the first half of the season, trying to get one side of the story so that we can then get her side of the story. But I'm running out of some time. I want to see the rest of my time. Those are a couple documentaries I recommend. I also recommend, if you want a fun murder mystery documentary that's filled with scandal and like holy crap moments, check out on Netflix Curry and Cyanide. So that's my weekly blurb, and I hope y'all check them out.
Scary.
Love a good doc.
I like a different kind of doc, but we'll get into that another time. Disney.
Love a good Disney doc.
Yeah. Speaking of Disney docs, hey-o, we got another That Disney Blerd movie review. If you've checked out the first one about the Marvels, go look at it on my other playlist, the That Disney Blerd playlist. It's over. If you check right above Jay's head,
check out that Disney Blerd.
That Disney Blerd. But yeah, we're doing another That Disney Blerd movie review, and this week we're talking about Wish. Spoilers ahead if you haven't seen it yet or don't plan on seeing it until it shows up on Disney Plus. But yeah, listen with a grain of salt. And I'm sorry, Jay, if you plan on watching.
I'll be all right.
Okay. All right. So we're going to take a look at Disney's tribute to 100 years of animation. We're going to take a look at 100 years of animation. Wish. It's all right. All right. And starting off with the good, Wish is definitely a nice homage to 100 years of Disney magic. While watching the movie, I could pinpoint different Easter eggs, symbols, and a certain pair of mouse ears that definitely resonate with this Disney fan's heart. Yeah. And in terms of timeline, Wish sets itself decades, if not centuries, before Disney's first film, Snow White. And it definitely shows certain characters throughout the film representing different movies that we've all grown up to know and love. Yeah, one strong highlight of the film for me would have to be Valentino, which is the baby goat, lamb, one of those. He's voiced by, not D. Bradley Baker, but it's Disney's current voice actor, Charm. He played Duke Wesselton and Duke of Weaseltown. If you look that up real quick. He has a very, very distinctive voice. He didn't know his voice can get that low. Alan Tudyk. There we go. Thank you, Jay. But yeah, Alan Tudyk plays Valentino. He was definitely like the comedic relief that was needed in this whole movie.
He's come a long way since Dodgeball.
He was a pirate. But yeah. But yeah, I loved him. I loved him in the movie, and when I said like it gave a bunch of like Easter eggs. There was like a Peter Pan Easter egg, Snow White Easter egg, even all the way to like Moana and some of the newer properties that have just come out. Yeah, yeah. So that's how like ingrained this movie wanted you to know that it was like representing 100 years of Disney. Let's take a look at the not so good of the story. Starting with a specific part of Wish, it was a strong point of opinion even before the movie came out, was the music. So before even this movie came out, you can go on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your news source or whatever, and you can see any and everything about that villain song in particular, about Chris Pine's, his song. It very much sounded, I enjoy the music as a whole. It was actually one of the high points of the movie for me. That's just because I listen to music in a very different way than most people. But it a few songs did give off a Disney Channel original movie kind of vibe. When you hear it,
and Chris Pine isn't a singer naturally.
He's not, but it like
they always got to give him something to sing though.
Yeah, but I mean, like he sang he sang in Spider-Verse.
I mean, even Chris Pratt had a song. I mean.
I gotta think about that one. But yeah. But a few songs, like I said, did give off a DCOM type of vibe, but overall the music matched the vibe of the movie as a whole, which again felt very DCOM like the movie as well. All in all, Wish serves as a nice movie that does celebrate 100 years of Disney magic. There are a few changes that I definitely would have made, music being one of them, but overall Disney made it work. And my official That Disney Blerd rating is a solid 7 out of 10. And we appreciate you guys for watching, and you can find us at all our various outlets, Facebook and Instagram at Blerd Survival Guide, at Threads and TikTok at Blerd Guide. You can follow us on Redbubble and Google at the Blerd Survival Guide. You can even follow us on our personals at That Disney Blerd,
at Blerd Activist.
Hey, and other than that,
keep surviving, everybody.
Listen to the theme song.
Combos, topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blerd Survival Guide until the end. DSG, we back again. Combos, topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blerd Survival Guide until the end.
Oh, we back at it again. Jay, Jeremy, Miriam, Ryan, friends until the end. What's new this week? That is our mission. Spoiler leaks, not our ambition. Call us geeks, come on now listen. Black and nerdy's our position.
Blerd boys. Don't know what to expect. Enter the podcast, we come in correct. Survivalist world, we coming for the throne. Blerd boys, survivalist zone.
DSG, we back again. Combos, topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blerd Survival Guide until the end. DSG, we back again. Combos, topics, fave top 10. Podcast fiends, go tell your friends. Blerd Survival Guide until the end.
Hey.
It's the Blerd Survival Guide. It's the Blerd Survival Guide. It's the Blerd Survival Guide.